Morning. In the last lecture, we discussed about the basic fundamentals of friction and types of friction and the basic rules related to friction. Those things were discussed in the last lecture. Today, we will be discussing on an inclined plane if the body has to be moved up or moved down. So, what is the amount of the force required? Okay. So this we would like to discuss today's class. As we stated in the earlier lecture, the friction term generally we see in a negative sense, but it is not true because there are some devices which works based on the principle of friction as a positive too. That means there your objective is to increase the friction. And there are some cases where we want to reduce the friction. So it depends upon your requirement, you will either enhance or you will reduce the friction. Okay. So today we will see the first. On an inclined plane, when the body is at rest, what is the necessary condition and how to find out the friction part, that part we will see today. What is an inclined plane and where actually we will see an inclined plane, whether really the objects are kept on an inclined plane, this maybe a question comes into your mind. There are certain occasions where we keep the object on an inclined plane. There are certain cases where you may not see it is an inclined plane, but actually it is resting on an inclined plane because the profile is an inclined surface. So what is an inclined plane? You might have studied in your first year mechanics a wedge problems where there is a tapered section. Similar here, say there is an inclined plane. Okay, this is an inclined plane. I am assuming my x-axis or the horizontal portion is say this is x-axis where theta 0. Theta is nothing but just an angle I am mentioning. Don't consider this is for any consideration. My ground surface is making some angle alpha, okay, with this x-axis. Suppose if I keep an object on this inclined surface, what are the forces that are acting and what is the limiting angle of friction that is going to happen here? Let us see. So this is the body where the self weight vertically acts downward, which is W, and I will choose one plane which is perpendicular to this ground surface, which I call a normal plane. Okay, like this, where there is a normal reaction acts, that is Rn. Okay. So by the geometry, if this is alpha, then we can also write this angle, the Rn which makes with the vertical is also alpha. So if the body is here, and this is the W is the self weight vertically acts downward, then if the body is by virtue it tries to move down, but at this moment I am saying simply it is not moving down, it is there. In case if you don't apply an external force, it tries to move down. So in that case the force of friction will act in a direction opposite to the moving of the body. That is, the body can move in the downward like this, then the frictional force is parallel to the ground surface, which is an inclined one, like this. Okay, then I can resolve this weight component into one is horizontal, one is parallel to this plane, and another one is perpendicular to this plane. That is, I can write, so if this is alpha, automatically this is also becomes alpha. Then this is the W, then you can write this component is W cos alpha. Then the other component which is parallel to the inclined plane is W sin alpha. Sin alpha. And at the same time, I would like to convert the frictional force and the normal reaction into a single entity, a resultant one, which is R. So I have converted the frictional force as well as the normal reaction into single entity R. Okay, so you can see here the forces acting on the body are self weight, okay, self weight, and the frictional force and the normal force. So I have taken this, the resultant is normal force and the frictional force, which I have written R. Suppose if the body is not moving down, okay, so when the body is not moving down, the F dash, that is the force which is resisting the motion of the body from the equilibrium, we can write simply like this. So this is in this plane. If you take the forces in this plane, and if you take the forces in this plane and equate it for the equilibrium, we can write W sin alpha left side, and this is right side, which is F dash. And what about this component, which is Rn, is W cos alpha, or you can write W cos alpha is equal to Rn. Say this is equation number 1, this is equation number 2. So I write instead of this way, like this is W cos alpha is equal to Rn. So I write W cos alpha is equal to Rn. I will write W cos alpha is equal to Rn. Okay, so if I divide these two equations, that is W sin alpha by cos alpha, which gives tan alpha, so equation 1 by equation 2 is F dash by Rn F dash by Rn. So we know that frictional force is nothing but mu times of Rn by Rn, then Rn and Rn get cancelled. This gives tan alpha is equal to mu, and we can replace mu by a term called tan phi. Then automatically alpha becomes phi. Alpha becomes phi. This is what we have written here. So if this plane, that is alpha plane, if it is increased further, like it increased further. Then the body will move down by its own weight, okay, without applying the external force. So what is the maximum value of this angle of inclination, maximum value of angle of inclination which it can make with the horizontal, okay, when the body starts sliding on its own, which is called angle of repose or limiting angle of friction. That means, say a case, you can take a case like 10 degrees alpha I have taken. So when there is alpha 10 degrees, the body is not moving down on its own weight. Suppose if I increase alpha to alpha 1 like 15, like alpha 2 20, like if I goes on increasing. So there is a point where the body will start move down with its own, that is the maximum angle of inclination of this plane with the horizontal, so that the body starts sliding down with its own weight, which is called angle of repose or limiting angle of friction. Okay, this is on an inclined plane when the body is at rest. This is body is at rest. So I have not applied any external force. I have treated it is at a rest condition. Now let us take the next one, the motion of the plane. So in the earlier what I said, the body is not moving, it is simply resting. But now I will take a case same like an inclined plane. Okay, so on this inclined plane there is a body which is kept like this, and this is making an angle alpha. Self weight always acts vertically down, which is W. Okay, then the normal force which is perpendicular to this plane, this is Rn. So as per the previous way, we can also write this angle also becomes, say, alpha. Then you can see, if you want to move this body up the plane, we have to apply certain force. So in which direction I have to apply the force? I have to apply a force like F. I have to apply a force F. So this force which causes the move the body in upward direction, then there is a frictional force which acts in the opposite direction downward. So this way you have frictional force which is mu Rn. Okay, so as we stated just before this topic, that is on the steady state case, similar here also I can write the resultant of normal force as well as the friction force into a single entity which is R. So this is the resultant of normal force as well as the frictional force which is R. So the angle that it makes between Rn and R is phi. Okay, so now you can see there is a force applied F which is making some angle with W. This angle I define an angle called theta. I define this angle is theta. So then you can also write if the other angle from the geometry this, so if this is alpha and this becomes 90 plus alpha. 90 plus alpha. Okay. Now from the Lame's rule, if I apply the force component over the opposite angle, I will get an equation. So you can write, there are three forces here. So the free body diagram separately is shown here. So you have three forces. What are the three forces now? One is applied force. The other one is the self weight vertically downwards, and the third one, the resultant of normal force and frictional force, which is R. So just now we have stated this angle is theta. So this angle is theta. Then by the geometry you can see this angle. So you can see this is another angle, alpha plus phi with the vertical. Alpha plus phi. Then if this is alpha plus phi, then the total angle is pi, that is 180 degrees. Then we can write this is phi minus alpha plus phi. So take care about writing these angles. We defined an angle theta, which is nothing but the angle between the self weight to the applied force, that is theta. And this angle resultant, which makes with the normal, is phi, and from the geometry this is alpha. Then the depth, this R, which makes angle with vertical, becomes alpha plus phi. If this is alpha plus phi, the total angle is 180, so 180 minus alpha plus phi. Then what about this angle? This angle, the total is 360. Out of it, you know this is theta, and this is pi minus alpha plus phi, and this is alpha plus phi. So by writing 2 pi is equal to 2 pi minus alpha plus phi plus theta plus alpha plus phi. Okay, then this term get cancelled. Then the remaining one, what is it? This is pi minus theta. So you can see this is the pi minus theta. So you rearrange it. So 2 pi is equal to pi minus theta. Okay, that angle will become pi minus theta. Okay, so once we get this, then we can apply Lami's rule. What is this Lami's rule? Let us see. See, this is the force F. This is the force F. This is the force F. So what is its opposite angle? This is phi minus alpha plus phi. So F opposite to this is phi minus alpha plus phi. Then W, what is this opposite angle? If you add these two, that is pi minus theta plus alpha plus phi, then it gives pi minus of theta minus of alpha plus phi. So the Lami's theorem says that in a equilibrium state, if three forces are acting on a body, then the force component over its opposite side angle is equal to other two components. That means F by this, W by this, and R by theta are equal. So I equated like f by sin pi alpha minus phi, w by sin pi minus theta minus of alpha plus phi. So you can see sin 180 minus theta sin theta. So this can be written as f by sin alpha plus phi. And similar, this is sin 180 minus, so this is sin theta minus alpha plus phi. So just by simple rewriting this, f is equal to, you can write w sin alpha plus phi by sin theta minus alpha plus phi. So I have just taken this term that side, cross multiplying, f is equal to w sin alpha plus phi by sin theta minus of alpha plus phi. Okay, so this is the force required to raise the load. Force required to raise the load. So this part is written once again here. F is equal to the previous equation where I have written this equation. Okay, this is the equation. I am writing two cases where theta is equal to 90 degrees. That is the first case. What is theta 90? Theta 90 means the applied force is like this. This angle is the theta. So when I write theta 90 here, what it becomes? Sin 90 minus of alpha plus phi. Sin 90 minus theta, you are aware of sin 90 minus theta is nothing but cos alpha plus phi. So w sin alpha plus phi by cos alpha plus phi will give you sin by cos tan, w tan alpha plus phi. This is the case 1, when the force is applied horizontal and theta becomes automatically 90. In the previous equation I have substituted, okay, then I get that. Then what is the other case? Theta is 90 plus alpha. Theta is 90 plus alpha. In place of 90 plus alpha, 90, now I write 90 plus alpha. My equation f is w sin alpha plus phi by sin 90 plus alpha minus of alpha plus phi. So here alpha get cancelled. Okay, then this you can see w sin alpha plus phi, and what is sin 90? What is sin 90? 1. Okay, so this is minus alpha plus alpha get cancelled. Sin 90 plus phi, you expand it, you get this is cos phi. And similar, you expand sin alpha plus phi like sin A cos B plus cos A sin B. Sin alpha cos phi plus cos alpha sin phi. Okay, so with that we can rewrite what is it? You can see sin alpha by cos phi. So you expand it, w sin alpha cos phi by cos phi plus cos alpha sin phi by cos phi. Okay, so what is sin phi by cos phi? Is tan phi. Sin phi by cos phi is equal to tan phi. Okay, what is tan phi? In the previous we have written tan phi is equal to mu. So I can replace this w sin alpha into this tan phi is written as mu cos alpha. Okay, so that is the another case what we write. Then my objective is to find out what is the minimum force that I need to apply so that the load can be lifted comfortably, raised comfortably. So if you look at this, the general equation, so you have, what is it? F is equal to W sine alpha plus phi by sine theta minus alpha plus phi. This is the equation. What is my objective? My objective is this F should be minimum. When this left hand side will become minimum, when my right hand side, okay, right hand side equation, if my denominator is maximum, then my F value will be minimum. So F minimum is, you can see this W sin alpha plus phi by sin phi by some maximum value. So when I get this maximum value, sin theta minus alpha plus phi will become maximum. What is its maximum value? 1. Okay, what is the right hand? Plus phi. Okay, or you can write only simply phi is equal to, okay, theta minus 90 plus alpha. So when your phi is theta minus 90 plus alpha, then the force required to raise the load is minimum. Okay, in a similar way, I am giving you the work for you as simple. You can do it once again as it is. Like when the load is moving down, so this is the another case which is similar to the previous case what we did, that is motion down the plane. Instead of moving up the plane, my objective is now to slide the body in a downward direction. Okay, in that case, my frictional force is in the upward direction. So for that, what type of force I have to apply? I have to apply a pushing force like this. In a similar way, what we did in motion up the plane, so here also I defined the same terminology, like theta is the angle made between the load and the applied force, and this is alpha. From the geometry we can rewrite all these equations, all these angles. Okay, so this is your free body diagram, gives the angles which I have already explained in the previous case, so I am not explaining once again. It is self-explanatory. By seeing this diagram, you can this angle, you can get these angles. So once again you apply the same formula, F by, this is F by this angle, what is it? Pi minus phi minus alpha, sine component, that is W by sine theta plus phi minus alpha. Okay, then if I cross multiply, I get F is equal to W sine phi minus alpha by sine theta plus phi minus alpha. Here also we can write, in case of theta 90, that is the force applied is horizontal, then this becomes F is equal to W tan phi minus alpha. So this is force required to down the load, and earlier we have written force required to raise the load, F up. So these are the two important equations we use in the problem solving, that is what is the force required to raise the load and what is the force required to down the load, isn't it? So these are the two very important equations. Future we would like to use this, isn't it? So here also you can write in a similar lines in the previous, what is the minimum force? When this will become minimum, when this becomes maximum. So when this becomes 1, then what is F minimum? Simply F minimum is W sine phi minus alpha. So in the similar lines we can obtain the minimum force requirement. Okay. So efficiency of an inclined plane, so that you have already studied in your previous courses. I am giving for you, it's a homework, how to find out the efficiency of the plane when the body is moving up, whereas when the body is moving down. Okay. So we'll continue in the next lecture how we can apply these basic things which we have studied for a practical case in case of square threads as well as in case of V threads. We'll continue in the next lecture.